This episode of the Buffalonian Podcast is brought to you by the Cast Source Podcast Network, a podcast network built with and for entrepreneurs. We cover many genres, including sports, business, mental health, marketing, and entertainment. We feature the podcast shows such as Sports Bring People Together, Limitless, Saviors of the Metaverse, The Athletic Mindset, and finally, the Buffalonian Podcast. Learn more at castsource.com/podcast. And now, without further ado, let's get into that Buffalonian Podcast. The Buffalo Bills take the L against the New York Jets. The Sabres, also not on a very hot streak this past week. We'll get into that along with the usual. Would you rather, hot takes, trivia, and more. This is the Buffalonian Podcast. All right, let's go. We are back with the Buffalonian Podcast. I'm Joe Cali, and as always, I'm joined by Dom Loss and Mike Marino. Boys, it's a tough week to be a Buffalo sports fan. Let's just get that on the table first. The Bills,
honestly, I think
the tough is Philly. They lost 2 major championships in one day.
Yeah, you got a point.
Honestly, I think the first thing we just had to bring up is just what an absolute performance by Zach Moss for the Indianapolis Colts this week. Really stuffed up this week. Just kidding. I don't know which idiot on this panel thought that was going to happen, but
listen. You can't discount anything. As I've said many times, and the listeners have heard me say, any given Sunday, you could have quoted that.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Went to overtime with the Chiefs, and you guys laughed at me.
No, he's got a point.
Well, as Joe says, you're still
any
lost.
Given Sunday. Oh, I didn't say that. I give
don't
Mike
know
a
if
lot
you guys
of
picked the Lions or Packers, but I picked the Lions, and they won.
No, we're gonna get on that next pod, but
yeah,
I did.
Yeah, we'll delve into that on the betting on the Bills.
Good
But
for you, Mike. I'm proud of you.
Mike
the
coming.
Chargers.
Yeah,
Mike, I'll say this right now. I think Mike might have been number 1 this week.
Oh, absolutely. I think he was too. This camera is not
right,
doing well.
So, as Joe alluded to before, I interrupted with my Zach Moss joke.
Yes.
I think this is the first. Is this our first podcast with after they lost? Because I don't think we did one after Miami because of your.
Yes, we did not do one after I had appendicitis. So this is the first Buffalonian Podcast loser. And it's a little tough pill to swallow. I mean, I thought we were a good luck charm for a while, but turns out, can't stop it. Zach Wilson, the Jets, Robert Saleh kept his receipts and they beat us. So, I mean, let's delve into it a little bit here. I mean, their defense just outplayed us. Would you agree? I mean, that's bottom line. I would say they killed our offense. I don't know. I mean, Mike, you got anything?
No, I was just gonna say, to me, watching the game, I think Allen's trying very hard to impress everybody, and I think he's overdoing things and leading to mistakes.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Kiko, what do you think?
I think it was a loss on all 3 phases. I don't think it wasn't like all 3. I mean, I listen, the defense played well enough to win. I think a lot of the problems with the defense people have really come from they just got pounded on that last drive. So I think that brings a pretty sour taste in people's mouths.
Yeah.
And I didn't love the game plan. I thought they should have maybe came after Zach Wilson a little bit more than they did. And a couple of calls there and there, like when Terry Johnson got injured, and then they did a blitz with safety blitz and Surround Neal was on Garrett Wilson, and it was like that 20-yard gain, and I was like, okay, well, that was kind of predictable. But
yeah,
again, I think the defense played well enough. I think there's stuff to improve on defensively. But again, when you get Milano back, Poyer back, your number 1 cornerback, I think a lot of that comes down to the guys up front, like the defensive tackles, need to do a better job on run defense more than Tremaine. Or I don't think Bernard played that bad. Jaquan Johnson. We're going to see how serious the Bills are about the whole safety situation if Jaquan Johnson starts again. I'll just say that straight up.
Yeah.
Watching him for the
Jonathan Abrams got cut.
He's not that good either, but watching, I mean, it can't be better than Jaquan Johnson for the 5th straight play, take a terrible angle, and the ball carrier just runs straight down the sideline against him. So
yeah.
And Oliver saved a touchdown on that one play because
he did. he hustled.
He's got some speed. He got right on him. I mean, and just a general announcement for all you listeners or viewers out there. I did call Dom Kiko. That is his name within our friend group.
I didn't even notice
it
that.
Slipped out. Would not meant to happen. I've kept it at bay on the pod, but unfortunately it slipped out on this one. So Kiko is Dom. I'm not going to do it again. Just keep everything
I didn't even notice that. But
yeah,
as I said, the special teams also had some issues. You get a touchback from San Martin when they had a chance to pin him deep. Bass missed a field goal that you probably, I know it's 55 yards, but you'd hope that he would be able to knock that through, especially because that would have given them
before
some
halftime.
That cost them a little bit of momentum, I felt like.
Yeah.
And then obviously kicking the ball out of bounds is just unacceptable at any level.
Yeah.
That was just bizarre. But I think it just comes down to, as Mike alluded to, I just think the offense was just, after the first play, it just seemed like it was kind of all out of sort.
I'm just saying, I feel like Josh Allen's trying to play hero ball, and he doesn't need to.
That's what we've said the past couple of weeks. And McDermott even alluded to that in a post-game interview. He said other positions, we need more consistency out of other positions. And he's right. They're putting a lot on Allen. And I'm sorry, when you're throwing the ball like that Miami game, 60 times, of course he's going to get 400 yards, but you can't be asking him to do that every week. I mean, we do need more consistency out of these players. I mean, and look, he ended up getting injured, right? I mean,
well, okay. I mean, I don't know.
Well, that was because that was
more
fumbled
fluky
it, thrown it, got hit. That's not because of anything.
No, I think the frustration has to be, the frustration of Josh is straight up that he should have had another interception in the game because that one dude dropped it. So, and the last 6 quarters of football, maybe even 5 quarters of football, because I think he threw the 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter against the Packers. All of his picks have been like WTF picks. It hasn't been like, oh, it got tipped up and it was off the receiver's hands, or he just overthrew him, whatever. It's kind of like, I just don't know what he was throwing to.
Yeah, I think the first interception he threw, it looked like that playoff game last year. He was trying to do the same thing, but he threw it right to him. He didn't throw it in front of Knox or anything. You know what I mean? Like it was pretty much.
I don't think he definitely okay. The first one he didn't see the safety straight up. He even said it in his press conference.
Yeah.
And then the second one, I think him and Davis had a miscommunication. But even if Davis stopped on that route, or even if he cut in, Sauce was there. So I just don't know what he was doing. And it's just going to come down to, I think, one, they had a very terrible game plan. Just a really bad, poor Dorsey game. And it's hard to win, even if you have an elite offense with an elite quarterback like the Bills have, when the Jets blitzed them twice. They were whooping the Bills' offensive line's butts all day, rushing for and getting pressure on Josh, and they were clogging the middle of the field. And they were trying to take away Diggs and all that. So I think it comes down to the fact of they needed, a speed element to the outside. They needed to attack more of the width of the field.
Right.
And for every reason, they just weren't doing it. Beasley, I'm not the biggest Cole Beasley fan.
No, but they miss him, I think.
I don't think they miss. I think they miss a guy's being productive in the slot. McKenzie's just not that. And the last time they played solid defense, Beasley had 10 for 100 and against San Fran. I forgot he was on the Jets last year, but Beasley had a 100-yard game and had 10 catches, and that's the kind of guy you needed in this type of game. To be honest with you, they needed a guy that was good. And I think what Mike is saying about the hero ball for Allen is spot on, because I felt like in the beginning of the year, Allen was completely okay paper cutting people to death, just doing the 5 to 6 yard passes, and now it seems like
he's got the taste for those big passes.
Well, now it seems like on 2nd and 10, he's throwing for 10 yards instead of just throwing underneath and getting 5 to 7 and making it a more manageable third down.
Do you think that's Dorsey's play calling though? At the same time, he's a little more aggressive than Dable was, or what are you thinking?
I mean, maybe, but I also think there's an element that Allen just wants to be the top team, and I think he's just trying to do everything he can. I think he's overthinking it and doing too much, because we saw earlier in the year when he was probably the MVP front runner, he wasn't forcing anything. Everything was just going his way. And now I think he's still definitely an MVP candidate, but I wouldn't say he's the favorite right now. I think he's fallen out because of his last few games.
Yeah.
No,
since the second half of Green Bay, he hasn't played the same. So
I just think there's so much pressure on him. And it seems it's a little bit of Dorsey too. I feel like he doesn't have as many safety valves as he did in the beginning of the year. Like, I just don't understand where's Reggie Gilliam. Like, he's just never on the field anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
Dawson
He actually
Knox,
missed his the one rush Allen had. He actually missed the push, and Allen
that
still
was
got the
funny.
first down. That was like the only time I heard his name.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no Reggie Gilliam anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Dawson Knox, they're paying to be a primary contributor, and they just
Don't throw to him.
They don't throw to him. It just kind of seems like they're underutilizing him.
The one throw, sorry to cut you off, but the one
sorry.
throw, it's like when Allen should have gotten picked, looked like he was trying to force it to Diggs when Shakir was wide open.
That's
Yeah.
what
It's like, why not just throw it to Shakir, get the yards, instead of trying to force it to someone who's covered?
Yeah, no. I think also where's Quentin Morris? Like, where's the tight end and fullback position? Like, there's just like I'm not saying those guys are great players. Like, I mean, Knox is a good player, and Gilliam. I'm not saying they're bad players, but it's kind of like where are those 2-yard throws that they could get up to field a little bit? And they just for a reason they don't have that. I think what needs to happen is this: we need to see more. James Cook was actually, I think, was very good on Sunday. We need to see more James Cook. We need to see Hines full week now. I think they need to take some of Singletary off because Singletary, when a team is playing like the Jets are, with their dominating the offensive line and they're clogging the middle, Singletary becomes really just replaceable.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you want an example for the Sabres, it's like when people block the middle of the ice, and then Victor Olofsson just can't. He's not a forechecker. He's like Victor Olofsson.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna have to have a perfect situation. You need a guy with like that speed element that can go on the outside, and that's Hines and Cook. So I think that needs to happen running back wise, and I think they need to utilize Knox more. And then the third thing they need to do is they need to put McKenzie a little bit more back in that gadget role, manufacture touches for him with those sweeps and that, and put Shakir more as that slot receiver role, and hopefully maybe he can, get those 5 yards and then run off the field with his, yards after catch ability.
Right. Yeah. I think Shakir should definitely be that primary slot guy, but Knox should be third or fourth option. And like you said, very underutilized, and he's not really doing anything. And if you ask me, Singletary, this is his contract year. He's not coming back next year. It's going to be Hines and Cook. I think if you had to ask
I don't know
me.
about that. I just think for me right now, the offense seems to be look for Diggs.
That's it.
And then
Davis deep.
It's look for Diggs. Look maybe somewhere else for a second, and then make sure Diggs again isn't open. Like, I feel like, I don't know, Davis needs to do better. I think maybe they need to put him in the slot a little bit more and open him up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now all he's doing is deep threat. He needs to catch the football. That's another thing that really made me upset on Sunday. But
yeah,
again, I think the Bills need to get back to the short passing game and stop focusing on all the deep stuff. They need to start getting the speed. Again, Cook, Shakir, Hines, be more effective, be more efficient with McKenzie's role. Give Knox more, Gilliam, give those guys some more opportunities, and then it will open stuff up for Davis more. And then Diggs is still going to get his, but then it will help him as well. I just think, I don't know. It all comes down to the fact that the Bills just cannot consistently run the football.
Yeah,
and they can't particularly pass. They're not very good in pass pro either. So it just comes down to the fact that Allen has to do a lot. But I think Dorsey needs to do a better job of manufacturing touches where you get the guys in space for chances for yards after catch, like a screen game, rollout game. Protect Josh and let Josh get the ball out quick, like he was doing in the beginning of the year. He was holding the ball a lot against the Jets.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And honestly, looking to next week, Allen's going to have his arm in a brace. I mean, they say he can play through it. Do you think we see more of those shorter passes, or do you think?
I'm telling you right now, we don't know anything. We don't know anything. So,
do you think he misses a game? I mean, all reports have shown that it looks like he's going to play through. I saw one earlier
but
today.
we don't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he could potentially play through it. We'll see. I think there's also a real potential possibility that he misses 4 weeks.
4 weeks?
Yeah, it's a UCL injury. He missed 4 games his rookie year, and plus I think they had a bye, so that was 5 weeks. I mean, like, it's usually, I think I saw this. I think Banged Up Bills has an article. I think the average for a UCL injury is 26 days, so about 4 weeks. So I think there has to be some. Listen, I think the Bills are going to be fine. I think they're going to make the playoffs, even if Keenum has to start for a month. But I think there has to be. So I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. I do think, though, regardless if he's regardless if he was hurt or not, I think, Joe, we should be still pounding on the table for shorter, easier plays.
Oh yeah. No, I think honestly, it's so up in the air. I think Keenum could do it. I think he's capable, but not as capable as Josh is for taking us
Well,
all the way. I mean, I don't know.
hope
I
not.
don't.
You're paying Josh $250 million. If a guy making $6 million a year could do as good as job, it's kind of like,
Yeah, I'd like to
I mean,
see Keenum get
come
some
on now.
reps with the first team, though, and like see what we're gonna get because we've only seen him with the second teamers, and he's gone 3 and out in that Titans game.
Well,
every
listen,
time he touched the ball. So
listen, I doubt Josh is really going to practice all that much this week. So
yeah. Could
but-
you imagine though Keenum and Diggs playing against Minnesota after performing the Minnesota Miracle? Like the NFL scripted? Changed my mind.
See, but I think there's a real situation that Josh Allen's next game might be against the Jets.
Yeah,
Because they played this.
Here. How about this? Even if he can play, why not let him sit? Because what if he plays and strains it even worse? So by the time it's the end of the season and you need him for the playoffs to be 100%, and he's not, there's your season. Let him sit now. Have confidence that if he misses 4 games, you can get by, still make the playoffs, and then by the time it's January, games matter. He's fully healthy, and that's when you need him most. You don't need him now necessarily. I mean, you want him, but I feel like we can get by now if he misses a month compared to he's playing through it, makes it worse, and then come January, he can't play.
I would agree with that.
This is the 4 games that you could potentially miss. Home against the Vikings this week.
Mhm.
Home against the Browns next week. Thanksgiving against the Lions in Detroit. And Thursday Night Football in New England December 1st. And then he could potentially come back for the Jets at Bills December 11th. So that gives him about a month. That gives him like the 26 days. I don't think those are, other than the Vikings, the Patriots are going to be a tough game. That's a tough divisional game. Browns can do a little run football. Lions are a little first. Listen, all 4 of those games had their challenges. But, even if I saw a stat where even if Case Keenum goes 0-4, they still have an 85% chance of making the playoffs. So,
Right.
I think if the Bills defense is going to say that they're the best defense in the NFL, and they have good special teams, and they have decent enough weapons, they can at least pop a 2-2 record in this 4-game stretch without them.
Right. And who knows? Keenum might ball out. We have no idea. I mean, we've got a pretty good offense too if they actually, use their hands.
But this is the problem. This is the problem right here, Joe. They're so Josh Allen centric that I just don't believe that. They can't run the ball really effectively, even with Josh there, and they can't pass pro. And the reason why their pass protection doesn't look as worse is because Josh evades pressure at a very high rate. So it's not an ideal situation for Keenum, to be honest with you. Like, you get Diggs, you get some weapons, but
it's not even
really
the same style. Like last year, if Trubisky had to come in, at least he can kind of run a similar offense.
Right.
Now, Keenum's not the same type of quarterback.
No,
they ain't gonna do QB power to the left for a 37-yard rushing touchdown. They're not gonna do that. So, listen, I think it's definitely something to monitor. I don't know. Maybe they're like, we could squeeze 3 games and he could be back for that Patriots game.
Right.
And then he has, if he plays the Patriots game, then he has 10 days to the next game to rest the elbow after playing a game. Maybe they think that might be the best strategy. But
we honestly just have to get the injury report and see what's actually going on. Like
that'll be what, tomorrow, right? McDermott said he's talking tomorrow about it.
Okay. Yeah. So I think step 1, and we'll actually be able to talk about this on the next episode this week, like what specifically is going on, because that's ground zero to figure out what moves.
I will say this: if he doesn't play this week, I would have serious doubts if he plays the next week.
Right. Same with me.
Because then after that Browns game, you have a short week. And I just wouldn't think that if they were going to sit him 1 week, they're going to sit him 2 weeks and then go into he plays Detroit. I don't know. I just don't. We just don't know.
We
anything.
don't know. That's simply put.
Can he play through it? Yes. But should the offense, philosophy and be better? Yes. So, obviously, when we talk about who stepped up, I don't think the only person I could think of is I thought DeMar Hamlin was a beast. And
that's really it. I mean, he had a couple.
Tremaine played well.
Yeah, Tremaine actually did without Milano. Surprisingly,
he got that pick, by the way. That was a pick.
Yep.
Hosed.
You think?
Absolutely hosed.
You think we got hosed?
Not even think. If you just look up at Twitter and look up like slow mo of those, it's an interception. Not even particularly close, but
imagine the sky cam didn't break and the NFL didn't script this game. Come on, like at that point.
No, I think Hamlin's the only one that stepped up that I was surprised by.
Yeah, there's no one else you can really pick from.
I thought Bernard actually played pretty solid, and so did James Cook. I thought those 2 rookies actually played pretty well. Other than that,
who sucked? The team? I don't know.
I don't know. I wouldn't say the team. I would say Josh sucked. I think we could say
Allen,
that. I think
Davis.
Davis really sucked. Davis mega sucked. I mean, the offensive line was bad.
Jaquan.
Who? Oh, Jaquan. Yeah, Jaquan's in the absolute bottom. He was like whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what? There's what
Bass.
46 active players. Yeah, he's definitely was 46 out of 46 for the Bills.
Yeah, no,
Terrible.
I could not believe watching this game. I was watching it at work, and I normally get very aggravated and like throw something. My buddy Kyler kicked a hole through his closet because he was so mad. You know what I mean? Watching the game, so it's just like
I mean,
I don't know. It's
listen,
crazy. A lot of people, but people went back and acted like EJ Manuel was still our quarterback. Like, let's take a breath. Let's calm down. Like, there's not like you said, even if Allen's out for a month, we have an 85% chance to make the playoffs. Like, people are acting like Rob Johnson or EJ still our quarterback, and they're 2000s Bills fans again. Like, let's
No,
just
but
take a second.
I think at one point, yes, they've lost. They were 6-2. I think everyone would sign up for that. Their 2 losses have come to the division, which is kind of unfortunate.
Right.
And they've come on the road by a combined 5 points.
Yes.
I think what the frustration is as I've alluded to, the defensive problems seem to just be fixable,
Mhm.
but the offense does not seem to be really fixable at the proper moment with their. I mean, unless they do certain things, which we don't know if they're going to do, or there seems to have to be some pretty major changes.
Mhm.
And even with that, like, you're putting your hands into 2 rookies and a guy that you just trade for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
like, I think that's where some of the, I would say, I don't want to say like concern is, but like panic.
Yeah. No,
but
you're
listen,
right.
I think
You're
the
right.
the Bills have a good coaching staff. I think they're going to figure it out. And I think they're going to be at least competitive about Josh. But I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, we say this every time in the offseason. The Bills are going to go as far as Josh Allen really takes them.
Yeah.
And so we all know if like he's out for the year, it's over. But like, I mean, it looks like they avoided that.
Yeah. I mean, by the
for
skin of their
now.
teeth, though, if you watch that replay, I cringe. I mean, honestly, of it getting pulled back like that, his elbow. But I mean, it's a throwback to rookie year, but also, like you said, 85% chance if he's out for a month. So I'm gonna roll the dice on that.
I think again, there's stuff that's concerning,
Mm-hmm.
but that stuff can be fixed. There's some concerns though
That
cannot be fixed
Yeah.
and have to be minimized. Like the lack of a good ground game.
That's the
not
biggest
gonna
one.
but that's not going to get fixed. That's as simple as that. There's ways to work around that by,
Mhm.
obviously when Josh probably gets a little bit more healthy, they
Yeah.
can't do this option now, but do more design runs, do more
Right.
outside runs.
When your quarterback's your number one
The
rusher on
offense-
your team, you know it's a problem.
The offensive line struggles in pass protection. There's ways to work around that.
Mhm.
Roll out more. Do more
Right.
quick passes. Do more screen passes. There's a way to work around that, but there's no way of fixing the actual problem.
No, unless you strip it apart piece by piece and basically, I mean, if
No,
you
there's
look,
there's no way to fix it.
I'm talking off season, strip it down though, and like get rid of
But
it.
I'm saying there's no way in season to fix it.
No, not at all. I agree. I mean,
So-
it seems like though in the past, like when we've had a decent running game, we've had a crappy quarterback, and when we've had I'm talking 2000s on. I'm not talking 90s with like Thurm and all those guys. That was different. But like
Tyrod was a Pro Bowl quarterback, my guy.
what are you talking about?
Tyrod. He's a Pro Bowl quarterback. Put some respect
Yeah,
on
but
his name.
still, I mean, he's Tyrod. He's not a superstar. I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have a superstar.
But,
passer.
okay, I'm just gonna push back slightly on that of the fact that we've had superstar
Pro Bowl's a
Josh Allen
joke.
for 3 years. We've had superstar Josh Allen for 3 years, and their offensive line has been bad for 3 years. That's kind of like you know what I mean? Like that's kind of like not a great analogy. Like they've had superstar Josh Allen for 2020 season, 21 season, 22 season. All 3 seasons they've had the same problem with the offensive line. So it's kind of
Yeah, you got a point. You're not wrong. I'll take that. No, you're right. No, I was looking more at like Marshawn Lynch and all those guys.
I understand what
Like,
you're saying, though.
You know what I mean. But without further ado, that's going to end it for this sad, unfortunate Bills talk for this episode. We'll be back later in the week with the betting on the Bills, and we'll get more into the Bills. So we'll be right back with some Sabres talk, and we'll talk about their disappointing week as well. But before we do that, I want to recommend you all to the Sports Bring People Together podcast by Sports Eat Plus. You should listen for entrepreneurial conversations with those in sports, and who knows where the chats will take you, but sports got us all together here in the first place. And you can find the show wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, or simply visit sportseatplus.com. And fellas, let's get back into it here. After a quick little recess,
I'm gonna stop you one quick second right there.
All right.
I'm not a fan of you saying it was a disappointing week for the Sabres. I'm just not.
I mean, I think it was kind of expected.
I mean, I think all of it didn't all of us predict 1-2.
I think I said 2-1.
All right, Mike and I did. Mike Fist.
I said, did I say 2-1 or something?
I think we all said 1-2.
1-1, something like that.
Did I say 1 and 2? I don't even remember.
I think I said 1-2. But
I don't know.
I will push back on saying that it is
Disappointing.
It is a disappointing week. I think if you look at it from points perspective, they got 2 out of 6 points. Yes, that's disappointing. But
Mhm.
if you look at the situation they were in, the teams they played, I think this
You're
is
right.
I think this is a great week for the Sabres. And the fact of this, I'm coming out from this mindset of like I don't care if they make the playoffs or not. I just want improvement. They played a very good game against Pittsburgh. Won that game. Good comeback.
Came back. Yeah.
They played. They outperformed a team on 5-on-5 in the Hurricanes, and they just lost because their special teams are bad. And then, they had every reason to kind of give up going into that Tampa game on the road, back to back. Your best player's out, and they battled for 60 minutes and had the lead late in the third period and just kind of gave it away. So,
right.
I think there's a lot to learn from this, but I think overall they played 3 very sound games against 3, upper top. I don't know. The Penguins are kind of been trash this year, but top 10, 15 opponents.
No, yeah, you're right. And that's something cool that they've done this whole season, like against Florida, number 1 in the division last year. They hung around, only lost by a point, against Tampa, going for a 3-peat last year, hung around like it wasn't like they got devastated, and I think it's cool to see that, people aren't coming in here anymore just expecting, oh, we're going to chuck a win on the win column for the opposing team. It's like we actually have a shot in all of these games. It's just like you said, they kind of gave that one away, and well, I mean, it's definitely a bright future, I will say that. And Dahlin's back, and it was tough without him too.
It was Lyubushkin.
Lyubushkin, yeah. So I mean,
Lyubushkin was brutal though. He was not 100% against Tampa, and it actually kind of cost him the game. I'm not gonna lie. So, but we were, if Lyubushkin didn't come back, we're gonna see Jeremy Davies back in the lineup. So
yeah, that'd be tough.
We would have basically a full set of AHL defensemen. But yeah, I think this is a solid week. Cousins had a very solid week. He struggled a little bit against Carolina, but against Tampa and Pittsburgh, he's up against those top lines, and he performed very well. And I think, gentlemen, we are starting to see the breakout of a young man named Owen Power, because I
think so too.
After struggling the first 2 or 3 games of the year, his numbers are insane, and what he did against Tampa, needs to it's gonna make a young man like me cry. Dude was just a legend.
A young man like you, you're older than he is.
Listen. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Thanks for making me feel old, big guy.
Yeah, no problem.
Wow, I didn't even think of that.
We're at that age now, man, where these players are younger than we are. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna pretend I didn't think of that. But no, he played 29 minutes of ice time, so he played like a true number 1 defenseman. He's carried around Cal Clay, who's actually played pretty well with him as a pair. They had a 78 expected goals for when they were on the ice. They were on the ice for 9 minutes. He was on the ice for 9 minutes against Victor Hedman. There were 17 shot attempts combined between the 2 teams. Does anyone want to guess what the split was between the teams?
13-4.
Joe?
12-3.
Dude,
that doesn't even add up to 17.
When I say that,
oh no, I did the math backwards. I apologize. 12-5. 12-5. I took one away.
15-2 in favor of the Sabres. So when Owen Power was on the ice against a Norris winner, 2-time Stanley Cup champion, one of the best defensemen in the league in Victor Hedman, the Sabres,
someone they compare him to.
I know. Outshot them 15-2. He's played very well. Had actually, when we talk about, and probably in a second, about our predictor for leader in points and goals, man led the Sabres in points this week with 4 assists. So 2 multi-assist games. So listen,
I mean, Dom, after he assisted the Red Wings on that one goal when we were at that game, I think he kind of turned it around. I think that was a breaking point for him, right? I don't even know who it was right to. It was right to
Dylan Larkin.
Right to Dylan Larkin, right for the goal. So
listen, he's played at a very high elite level, and I think other people are playing very solid as well. Jack, it's very nice to see. Is I feel like the young guys are playing very well this year. Quinn's playing a very complete game. It's nice to see him kind of get a couple of points. It was nice to see Peterka score again. He's all over the ice against Tampa. It's just nice to see they replaced
John Hayden, Cody Eakin,
Miss John Hayden though, and the best hair
Robert
in the NHL.
Haig, all those guys, and they replaced them with Owen Power, Jack Quinn, JJ Paterka, young guys that are not only going to be
Outplaying
great in the future, but are good now and actually helping you win now. And it's nice to see the Sabres right now 5-on-5 are playing about average. They're right now so. This is the best way I could describe it for all the people that don't really know analytics. Last year, if the Sabres played a 60-minute game fully on 5-on-5, the expected score of that game would have been their opponent's 2.76 and the Sabres 2.1. This year, same situation, the opponents would be 2.81 and the Sabres would be 2.73. So that gap was 0.66 and now is 0.08. That gap is completely closed and now at about 49% expected goal rate, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Their offense has taken a massive jump. The defense has worsened a little bit, but I think that's also when you lose Samuelson, who's now I would say your third best defensive behind Power and Dahlin. As much as I say Yogi Hart, you have AHL people in right now,
right?
Gerald, Pilot, Clegg. So like I would expect the defense not to be as good as it was last year, but it's just a great sign to see on 5-on-5 that they're producing more offense, especially with such a young team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to allude back to elementary school here. You know how the math teachers always talked about fractions getting that piece of the pie? Everyone's getting a piece of the pie here. I mean, we watched in that game we were at, Dom. I mean, in every other game, Tuck, Dahlin, Thompson, Quinn, I'm fizzling out. There's smoke coming out of my ears. I'm trying to name everyone. I don't even have it in front of me. But everyone is getting a piece of that pie, and it's so cool to see. It's like, where Jack Eichel was here, he's the guy who scored. You know what I mean?
So the thing that I've noticed, it's like when Jack was on the team, it was always like, get it to Jack. Jack's going to do everything.
Right.
It's all about him. Now it's like we don't necessarily have that one guy that's just like going to be the superstar. So like we have a lot more people getting involved in the plays and like making plays, which is a lot better for a team.
It just seems like there's every game there could be a different 2 or 3 forwards that play well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's awesome to see. Now I would say that they do need to add or hope that someone becomes like that Jack, which is like that consistent just stud every night. But
yeah,
listen, that's not gonna happen right now, which is completely fine. But again, I think this is listen, they went 1-2, but better week ahead, hopefully, in the terms of points. They play tonight against the Coyotes. Then they play Thursday. Boys in the Box returns.
We're back. We are
back for Jack Eichel's return 2.0.
Yes.
And then
I'd love to see Tuck steal the puck and seal the game again like last year.
And then they're at home again against the Bruins on Saturday. And then they're home against the Canucks on Tuesday. So 3 games, another 3 games home. Well, it's going to be a 3-game homestand this week.
Yeah.
So
Bruins
that's
is going to
exciting.
be tough, especially, I would say. That's my standout, I would say.
I mean, yeah, you got a team that's just absolutely tanking in Arizona, and then you got Vegas, who's one of the best teams in the NHL, and same thing with Boston. So again, another solid test, I would say.
They go in 1-1-1.
Oh, 1-1-1.
I'm gonna go 2. I'm gonna go 2-1, just because I think they're gonna win tonight, and they're gonna win against Vegas.
I'm gonna say the same as Dom here. I think.
Who do you think they beat out of those 3?
Arizona.
See, I'm just not gonna. I'm sorry. I'll pull a Joe here a little bit. I'm not gonna predict them to lose to Jack Eichel. I'm sorry. I just can't.
I think they're losing overtime.
Oh, does he score the winner?
Tough. No, God no.
He
doesn't get a point.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
Dom, you're right. You're right in my mindset here. I cannot go with Jack Eichel at all. Never can I ever. And I think Boston, they're going to hang around. It would be interesting. Because top of our division, a big divisional game, so that'd be huge. But don't think they're winning it. I think they go 2-1.
All right, I gotta ask some questions now.
Okay,
are you guys ready?
Go ahead, fire away, buddy.
Do you think it's a good thing that Victor Olsen is the leading goal scorer on the team?
Yes.
Yeah.
Trade value.
See, I want to say yes for that reason.
Yeah, because we could get some good stuff for him.
But I mean, his goals are kind of fraudulent.
But they're all open net goals, pretty much. That's
they
really
are.
It.
But what scares me is that the Sabres are going to be like, honestly, how could we trade away a 30 goal scorer that's leading the team in goals? You know what I mean? Like, I kind of wish he was scoring at this pace, but he was like second and third on the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get that. I get the skepticism there, but I also think the way Adams and Granato are looking at it, I think they'll be the one to see like he's scoring a lot of open net
I don't know.
goals.
I think Thompson's gonna probably overtake him soon enough, and then
Yeah.
I think at some point Jeff's gonna heat up because we all know Victor likes to go in his lulls for like 20 games.
You know, when
Half
there's
the
not an open
season.
net. So
Yeah,
No.
But no, I definitely agree. The trade value, I think, is
All right.
what to get out of that.
Second question.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys think of the reverse retros in action? Obviously, I
Ugly.
was there. I was there.
I'm gonna
I'll say the white and white was not it. It
No.
was very hard to see.
no,
I don't
no,
know
no.
about
The
TV
pants should have been
editing.
blue, and the
Yes.
helmet should have been white.
the
They
pants
just
look
messed
like
that up.
adult diapers, man. I couldn't get past
Plus, they
it.
didn't have like any stripes or anything on the side, so it was just fully white. Was just too
Ugh.
much.
Oh, you don't
Yeah,
even
it
get
was
me
bad.
started.
Too much white. Too much.
Yes, too much. They blended it with the ice. All I saw
was
was Tuck's
bad.
mustache rolling around. Like that was really it. You know, like they should have been blue pants, white helmet, white jersey. I liked the white goat head. I really did. Thought it was really cool. But I mean, the white on white it's not like the Bills wearing white on a green football field. This is white on white ice.
White
So it's
pants in
like,
hockey is not good.
No.
No. It blended in a little bit too much for my liking.
Yes, especially with the boards too. Everything's white on the ice, so it's like you know.
My next question: what do the Sabres need to do to fix their special teams? Because right now, for a team that is like about 50-50 on 5-on-5, you kind of need good special teams to care if you want to win this league. If you're going to have those numbers, and right now the special teams. I mean, they lost that game in Carolina because their special teams are terrible. I know they got a power play goal, but that was scored with 1 second to go in the third period, losing 5-2. Like that doesn't really. I mean,
Yeah, no, their
that
power
counts in the
play's been
stat sheet,
iffy.
but does it really count? Not
Yeah.
really.
No, they've been iffy all season.
Nancy Ronta wasn't
power
too
play.
happy.
I mean,
He broke his stick.
I wouldn't be too happy about it. I mean, you get paid for that stuff, and to have a goal that late, nothing doesn't matter. So,
Yeah.
what do you guys think needs to change for them to? Because I don't think it's.
They
I
need
don't
to
really-
change up their power play because I don't like some of the people on the power play. Like, no offense,
Yeah.
but like Kyle Poso, Casey Middlestat, like
Mhm.
I don't really want to see them on the power play.
No, I 100% agree. I think you gotta throw some younger, quicker, like
Like
Okposo
Darling, when
should
healthy,
not
will
be-
quarterback one power play, probably the first power play. Then you would hope that Owen Power can quarterback the second power play.
Yeah.
My big idea.
What do you think? Is that that's what?
I think the days of having just one defenseman on your power play. If you have two elite defensemen, why break them up?
Honestly,
If I was the Sabres, I'm serious about this. I would have Thompson on the one wing, his off wing. I'd have Darlene on the other off wing because Darlene's basically a forward. Let's be honest. Like he just
Yeah.
plays. He's a
yeah.
defenseman, but like he's a forward. Then have
Mhm.
Power up top, and then just I don't know. Give me like Cousins and Quinn or Cousins and Tuck up front.
I like Tuck being
Second
on the power
play. Just like give that power play like mid 30 and then the other 30 seconds of give the power play 2 of like something of Quinn Olsen on the wings. I mean, well, they put Yoki Haru on power to play 2 last year. Put him there. I don't know. Give me then Jeff and Oposo or whatever on power play 2, or give me JJ.
Yeah,
Just I think just change it up a little bit. You know,
yeah.
Two different-
It's just the same every time.
They need to improve, and either they need to do the 2 defenseman thing, or they need to split them up. But they need to get the young guys more ice time on the power play.
I'm gonna be
Now-
honest.
because we're 12 games in. We're 12 games in. I know
Right.
in the beginning of the year we talked about how Granado didn't want to put them on special teams because they wanted them to focus on 5-on-5. Well, their 5-on-5 play looks good. Let's give them some more, meat on the bone.
No, I would agree. I really like the 2 defenseman idea. I mean, it's especially
tried.
like you said, Darlene's like pretty much offensive, so it's like
Now, bigger brand idea. Let's get Ristolainen back, have him be in front of the goaltender, and let's have 3 defensemen.
oh, look at that, look at
He's
that.
not even
Let's
playing
just
in
stack
Philly.
a power
That-
play with
I know.
3
5-year
defensemen.
deal is really paying out for them, huh?
And they got a first-round pick for that guy.
Oh my
Come on
god!
now. Come on now.
And
Okay.
a second.
And
In a second.
and Robert Hay that turned into a 6th-round pick.
Yeah. Hey, look at that.
All right.
There's a little
so,
history.
Next, did you guys see the new lines?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a fan.
I am really before we talk about the new lines, let's get into some a little bit more one part positive news. The goat heads. That video hype.
And I know a lot of people don't like them, especially people who didn't like. We grew up with them, right? Like when I think of Ryan Miller playing for the Sabres, I think of black and red. You know what I mean? Like I had that
I
poster
think
in
of
my
the
room.
slug.
Yeah, I think it was Slug. I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Joe,
Really?
when they left, we were like, when they
It
stopped,
was
they were like,
06.
yeah, this is
It
for like
was
the
06.
millennials. We're a generation, we're like a generation behind this. If we're gonna be really honest
No, but
about
I'm
it.
very glad that they brought him back as an alternate. Like, I definitely think the royal blue should be the primary, but the black goat heads definitely need to be an alternate that they wear
Oh,
a
yeah.
handful of games per year.
They'll never have to change their jerseys again because they have the alternates now as the black and red, and it's
I saw where like
it's
33%
iconic.
of their games, 33% of their games left are gonna be black and red. It's gonna be cool
Yeah,
to see.
nice. I think it was like 8 games or something. 9.
Yeah, something like that with the games that have already
Good.
been played.
Good.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a good jersey. People that are complaining about how listen, I'm gonna say it straight up. The Sabres have really good jerseys, just regular jerseys.
They've always had good jerseys,
Mhm.
minus the
Except-
goat heads
except
or
the s-
goat heads slugs.
Yeah, the Slugs
take.
and the Navy Blues. Those are bad jerseys. Navy Blues also
Yeah.
bad. But the
The
Royal
gray
Blues,
armpits,
Oh yeah, yeah.
the
that was tough.
Reeboks. Oh my god.
yeah. But what was his name? Greg Wazinski. I don't know how to say his last name for ESPN. Was like, why are the Sabres wasting games now? They're Blues. Like this is just for millennials. I was like, dude, this jersey's sick. Like the
I
red.
don't know how many people are gonna buy them.
Yeah, the black and reds. First off, I'm gonna say it's great. For the
I'm trying to
coolest.
get a tuck one.
Yeah. I also like. I'm gonna just be honest, man. Like growing up, definitely thought I was a dragon for the logo.
Well, you know what? They're selling the dragons in the Saber store now. The little
No,
like
it's
because
it's
a lot of
sick.
people thought about that. I
No,
love the black and red. The goat head too. They cleaned it up a little bit too. Like it's a lot smoother now and everything. It looks
Mhm.
better, a lot cleaner in my opinion. And it's just cool. Like seeing Tuck Darlene just staring into your eyes with the red light behind him in that jersey. I was like, whoa, that's
No, it was
intimidating.
hype. It was definitely hype. So okay, going back to semi-negative news about the new
I'm looking at
lines.
their lines right now.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't love them. So if we're gonna take away, let's look at forwards and defense and goaltender. So I'll just say the lines straight up so people don't have to look at it. But the first line is Casey Middlestat, Tage Thompson, JJ Peterka. That's a bad first line. I'm gonna
Yes.
say it right up. Don't
Not good.
don't understand why Casey Middlestat is playing wing. I think his only value to the team is that he plays center. So like if he's not gonna be playing center, like just how they scratch him at this point, but they're not gonna do that because for every reason they love Casey Middlestat.
Yeah. Even though
My-
we think it's
listen,
do or die. for him.
my brother was getting on me because he was like, oh, Tampa Bay game, like he had a couple nice like pushing the play and stuff. I was like, Casey Middlestat, very solid in transition. Like he's a very good transitional forward. Dude is straight cheeks defensively, and he's not good on special teams, and he's not consistently good offensively either. So it's like, what are you?
No,
So
you're absolutely right.
that line, I don't like that line because I just think defensively they're gonna get caved in. It's a lot for Peterka. Second line is an absolute wagon. Skinner, Cousins, Tuck. That line's awesome. Like that's a sick line. That's a good line. But like, granted, that line's so sick. It like kind of like it makes me mad that they're together because the rest of the lines aren't sick. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, no, they put all their coins in this bucket, and then the
Eggs
rest
in
is
one
just-
basket.
Yeah, eggs in one basket.
coins in one
I don't know what I was trying to say that just coins in the bucket came out though, but yeah, no, I like that line, but like you said, it's like a double-edged sword because the rest of them are not.
Like again, this
not
comes down to
fantastic.
like the fact of like the Jason Robinson. All they had like if they replaced Middlestat like an actual elite top line forward. Like I'd feel just so much better about these lines.
I think we have an elbow injury on the pod too, just like Josh.
I just
Allen.
hit my
Like,
funny bone on my
nice little
desk.
funny bone on the desk.
I tried to remain composed there. Third line: Aspen, Krebs, Olofsson. I just
not
don't.
as bad. Not as bad. as the
Aspen's
first
going
line,
to be
in my
doing a
opinion.
lot.
I don't
for
know
that
what this
line.
is. I don't.
I don't know. Krebs
Asp-
hasn't played very good this year. I think he should probably
Mm,
see
Kre-
some press box for a few games.
I don't know. I think Krebs has played pretty well when he's with. He was played pretty well when he was with that Gergensons Aspen line when he had two.
I think for most parts though, he's just been kind of forgettable.
Yeah, but he was really good. That line was very good for checking. It seemed.
Mhm.
It seemed like they were very good for checking, very solid defensively. It kind of seemed like he was thriving a little bit. I don't know why they're throwing that off for him. I guess they're keeping him with Asplin, but Asplin does kind of carry Olsen, which is fine. I just again, I don't like the stress they're putting on Krebs. The only thing I like about that potentially is like if they're gonna put Krebs at center, and they're gonna put Middlestat at wing. Like I just hope that it means as I've sucked, like Middlestat might be like on its way up. But again, Middlestat's on the top line, so like, am I really? I think I might be looking a little bit too far deep into that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like this is not overall, I was not expecting this.
And then the fourth line is Quinn Gergenson's a post, and all I gotta do is do like the yawning. That's gonna be so low event hockey. No, nothing's gonna happen on either side. I don't understand for Quinn. Feels like why would you have him with two guys that are dumping chasers instead of having two guys that can move the puck in transition and play with his speed, his shooting. Listen, Quinn's been very good defensively 5-on-5, so I think he'll fit in. But it doesn't. That doesn't seem like a good fit. Having Krebs with Olofsson really doesn't seem like a good fit, and having Middlestad on your top line doesn't seem like a good fit. So other than the second line, there seems to be just people that don't really. I mean, I guess they're experimenting, so
yeah,
whatever. But
Mhm.
I don't know.
I love the experimentation of Granato. Trying to figure out where these players fit best. But like you said, and I'm going to say it right this time, all the eggs are in one basket, and that's the second line. So, it'll be. I mean, Dom, you're going to the game. You're going to be there, so you're going to be feeling it full force. And Mike and I will be viewing from the households this evening.
Yep.
So, but
And then if we get the defense pairings real quick.
I don't like Bryson in the top pairing.
no.
I do like Power Labushkin though. I like that pairing.
Is Cal Clegg the seventh defenseman?
Yeah, Pilot and Fitzgerald are the third.
Oh my! I didn't even see that.
Oh my gosh.
What are we doing here?
Put an ear warning in the caption down there real fast. Yeah, no, that's not good. Not good.
What are we doing?
Who would you want out? Who do you want out? Pilot? Bryson?
Fitzgerald.
Oh,
Either one of
Fitzgerald.
those. Both those guys are
Casey
trash.
out of here. Get Casey out of here.
Okay. Take a breath.
I
Yeah,
like Casey
you
Fitzgerald.
need that breath.
This is my plan. This is my plan. Sorry. This is my thought process.
Yeah.
First pair is fine. Bryson and Darling have actually played very well together this year. They've actually been one of the better defensive pairs in hockey, which is kind of surprising. But Darling's also just kind of a god, so he's kind of carrying Bryson around a little bit, which is fine. I mean, Tampa does this with Hedman and Cal Foot.
Yeah. He's trying to keep himself composed.
I'm not going to pretend that I'm the biggest Cal Clegg fan, but the fact of the matter is, in 78 minutes played, mostly of power, that pairing was doing fantastic. I think the stat is that Bryce and Darlene is 7th in defensive pairings and expected goals against per 60 minutes, so that's very good defensively. I think that pairing was 8th, and now the sample size might have been a little smaller. I think they're both around 80 minutes. So the fact that he is playing well with power, I think some of it is that power is kind of carrying him around a little bit, but at the same time, I think we deserve to have a little bit more of a bigger sample size with that pairing to see more that pairing was doing well. Why are we splitting that up? Labushkin's a fine player. I'm not gonna very good.
I'm not going to trash on him, but
very good defensively. But let's put him down in the third pairing. Let's put Clegg up there with power. He's deserved to be in that spot. Put Pilot or Labushkin together. Casey Fitzgerald's trash. I'm sorry. Dude's played 8 minutes some games. Dude played 8 minutes against Pittsburgh. I want to say he got benched. Him and Pilot have not been good. So both those guys, what's gonna happen when Yoki Haru and Samuelson come back? I think both those guys should be gone.
They probably will be.
It'll
be
they
Samuelson,
won't, 'cause-
Darlene.
They won't, because Davies will
Why?
get waived. Davies will get waived. Clegg
Yeah.
will get waived, and then they're gonna probably keep both those guys as 8 defensemen because they waived Sheehan. It's just ridiculous. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
this is stupid. I'm sorry, this doesn't make any sense to me. Why? Listen, I know he's not a household name, but Cal Clegg deserves better. I'm fighting for justice for this man. He deserves.
yes.
He deserves to be in this lineup,
Man,
and he deserves
his
to be
take
playing.
Changed on Cal Clegg.
No,
I
but
know.
why?
No, 'cause
Please tell me why Casey Fitzgerald is playing over him. It doesn't make any
I
sense.
can't. No,
He doesn't-
there's no logical reason to say
And
why.
I'm
he is.
also, it's not like the coaching staff trust him. Cal Clegg was getting 16, 17 minutes a game on 5-on-5. Casey
Mhm.
Fitzgerald was getting 8 the last couple of games. What is this? I might need to do some more digging to make sure these are actually pairings. But what is this?
I don't know. What I'm looking at here is last updated November 8th, 2022 at 11:39.
No, this is updated, which is embarrassing. Also, then we talk about the actual power play units. Actually, more embarrassing is that. What is this too?
And we were just talking about this.
We're gonna put. But we predicted him. Oposo is gonna be on the first power play now. You took Jack Quinn off. I didn't think Jack Quinn was that bad. Jeff Skinner, has been kind of screwing around the power play all year. He's still on it.
Mhm.
He's still on power play 1. Actually, no one in power play 2. Jack Quinn's not even on the power play units anymore.
Yeah,
that's what is this?
Experimenting.
But okay. Power play, fine.
I'll calm down about that. I think Quinn deserves to be on like in the power play just because he's a young player and it will help him. And listen, the power play sucked all year, so like okay, whatever. The Cal Clegg thing is not experimenting. It's just malpractice. It's just call it how it is. It's malpractice.
It's malpractice.
Like
You heard it here first on the Buffalonian. It's malpractice. That's Dom's new thing. Malpractice. No, I agree. Cal Clegg deserves better. We got to get him in the limelight more. I mean, he's screaming. Oh God.
Although when I see that number 38, I still think Nathan Page.
Yeah. I mean, Dom, I know that Red Wings game we went to. I was like, who is that down there? But I mean, he had a good game. I mean, he's had good games. He should be playing. I don't think Samuelson should be playing.
What?
No, Fitzgerald.
You had a good moment there, and you just butchered it. With
No,
one word.
Fitzgerald.
I'm
looking.
Matthias Samuelson.
No,
I've stood by that guy
Matthias
since we
Samuelson has
drafted him.
I have no issues with Matthias Samuelson. I am.
Listen,
I'm talking about Fitzgerald.
At the end of the day, when Yoki Haru and Sampson come back, they're gonna replace. It's gonna be those two: Lyubushkin, Bryson, Darlene, Power. It's as simple as that. That's their top 6.
Mm-hmm.
Like Pilot, Fitzgerald, even Clegg probably won't be playing. But at the end of the day, like this comes back to the stuff in training camp. Like, if someone plays well enough to warrant a spot on the team and warrant playing time, like, why are we not rewarding that? Especially in a position where you're not blocking a prospect. Like, Casey Fitzgerald is 25. Like, does he really need more NHL time? Cal Clegg, I think, is 25. Like, they're both the same age.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like, okay, you can't like tell me, oh my gosh, Casey Fitzgerald, right shot defenseman. Cal Clegg has been playing on the right side of Owen Power. So, like, please, like, or it's like someone's going to tell me, like, oh, Casey Fitzgerald plays the PK a little bit. Well, the PK's kind of sucked the last couple of games, so I wonder why that's the case. God, I'm getting so heat over this. I'm sorry, Mike. I know he's your boy, but even my boy Pilot doesn't even warrant a spot over this.
No, I agree. Pilot's been meh.
Pilot's been the definition of just showing why he's a 7th defenseman in the NHL, and Casey Fitzgerald is showing why he should be a top pair right shot defenseman in Rochester. Just like justice, man.
Yeah, justice for Cal Clegg. Like, come on.
We need to make a shirt.
Yes.
Sell him outside
I saw that
Key Bank.
picture of you screaming, saying, what did you used to say all the time? Oh, I don't even know.
Get a picture of his face that says malpractice.
Oh yeah, it's malpractice. Coming to the Buffalonian merch store right near you. But
all right. So, looking at our predictions from last week, none of us hit on anything, which is awesome. 0 for 6. As Olsen had 3 goals to the team, and Owen Power had 4 assists for 4 points. So, going into these 3 games, let's make some predictions. I'll go first this time because I'm gonna go Jeff Skinner and Cal Clegg. I'll say Tage is the leading goal scorer, and I'll say Darlene leads in points.
I'd like to see Jeff Skinner be the leading goal scorer. I'm going to be honest with you. I'd like to see him turn it on. And I think Thompson will be a leader in points, though.
Talk across the board.
Ooh. I was waiting for someone to drop that.
Get a nice woo on social media after he plays, on Instagram. And they've been updated.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully we don't go 0-6. I'm hoping this week.
Well, technically we would go 5.
0-5
because Mike picked the same player. Actually, no. Well, I don't know. I guess 0-6 would be the right word. I don't know.
Still 6.
Either way. All
right,
right,
gentlemen. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for our Sabres talk. And Dom, are you skedaddling or are you?
No, I'll stay. I'll stay.
Oh, Dom is gonna stay. He was gonna go to the game, but we're gonna get him for the rest of the pod. So, just without further ado, here. This episode of the Buffalonian Podcast is brought to you by the Cast Source Podcast Network, a podcast network built with and for entrepreneurs. We cover many genres, including sports, business, mental health, marketing, and entertainment. And we feature podcast shows such as Sports Bring People Together, Limitless, Savers of the Metaverse, and The Athletic Mindset. You can learn more at castsource.com/podcast and also find us on there. So go and take a look, and let's get into this Would You Rather segment. Dom, it's all you today, buddy.
I got
it.
You're
here.
I got
all right.
All right. Obviously, the Colts just fired Frank Wright. Just
signed Jeff Saturday to be the interim head coach, which is pretty
Feel bad
laughable.
for Frank Reich. Yeah.
But
Poor Frank.
hey,
man.
Frank Reich, they should give him a call.
He got screwed out of Andrew. Like Andrew Luck retiring really just screwed him over.
Listen, man,
Can't find a quarterback.
Call Frank Reich up and say, hey, man, you want to be an offensive assistant for the rest of the year?
Hey, come back to Buffalo
Why
and
not?
get your Super Bowl ring that you
Why not?
deserved all those years
Well,
ago.
I mean, he
Come
already
on.
has Super Bowl ring with the Eagles, so I don't know.
Oh, from
so,
Buffalo.
but-
We need one with the
But-
buffalo on it.
That's
Yeah.
true. So my question is this, because we covered the NHL and NFL, would you rather be an interim NFL head coach or an interim NHL head coach?
NFL.
Or NHL.
I like the.
I think I would do NHL.
See, honestly, though, I think that's also me not following the NHL as much as you guys do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
I
more.
don't know.
of
I
an
feel like
NFL
more
guy.
often than not, if you're an interim in the NHL, you get hired more often.
Dan Granado.
Yeah, like look at the Raiders. Rich Bisaccia.
He should have been their head coach. He
Josh
should not be
McDaniels.
Josh McDaniel.
When Joe Philbin got fired in Miami, I think Dan Campbell took over, and then they
Mhm.
hired Brian
Gase.
Flores.
Didn't,
Or
no, did they hire-
Gase?
yeah, they did hire Gase. It was
It was
Gase and
Gase.
Flores.
So
I mean, Anthony Lynn was
then
interim
in,
head coach for the Bills for one game.
Mhm.
yeah, Anthony Lynn with the Bills, and then when Mike McCarthy was fired, who took over for Green Bay? Was it Philbin? I don't know.
I don't
But
even know.
I'm
Then
trying
he
to
hired
think.
before
I
in
hate
the
Mike
offseason,
McCarthy, though.
so
Yeah, I don't remember. It might have been him. But I mean, it wasn't Mike Penn. I don't know. I think I'm going way off the
Mike
going
Patton,
way off the rails there.
former
He was
Bills
next.
DC.
the
but-
train is off the tracks.
I think for the NHL, I think you just get a bigger sample size if you're the interim head coach,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, you got a point.
you get more of an opportunity to probably convince ownership that you're the guy moving
Mhm.
forward. And so I think just more opportunity, especially in the NFL, you're just kind of just a stopgate most of the
It's
time.
a 17-game season, 16
17
really with a
I'm-
bye week.
But no, it's a 17-game season. Doesn't matter if it's a bye week, buddy. It's an 18-week season then.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. You're
But-
right.
Backward. But like, I mean, look at it. Jeff Saturday, what? They're 3-5-1, so he has 7 games to prove himself.
Mhm.
Coaches, he gets fired in the NHL. If he get fired mid-season, I got 40 games. If the team plays well, I have an opportunity to at least put my name out there. And at that point, if you're the interim head coach, you're likely not brought back in the NFL if you don't get the head coaching job. Like Rick Bisaccia went to be the special teams coach of the Packers, so I think there's
Yeah.
a chance in the NHL you get brought back, even if you're not the head coach.
Did Brunette
mm,
go back
yeah.
to Florida?
That's a great. I think he's New Jersey now. Didn't he go to Lindy because I thought they might have they were gonna can him?
Dude. No,
But,
dude.
but like that's
Lindy's
what,
a great coach.
but that's what I'm saying though. Like I think there's just an easier opportunity to get a job even
Mhm.
in the organization that you're in if you're the interim head
Yeah.
coach, and there's just a greater chance that you're gonna become the head coach in my opinion. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, I actually would agree with that. Thinking about it after you guys have talked about it, there is a larger sample size. You are in you got a longer season, more games, and like you said, I mean, you could be fired halfway through the season. You're at 40 games. You know what I mean? And you could figure it out from there. And if, like you said, if you're winning those games, and even if it is like you're there for even 20 games, like that's a sample size larger than you'll get in the NFL. So
Well, I also think it's easier to transition to an interim coach if you're in the NHL than the NFL, because NFL, like if you're the OC, you transition, like then someone else is gonna be calling plays, but now you're responsible for the challenges, the timeouts, game management,
Yeah.
the defense, special teams. In the NHL, you're kind of already,
responsible
as an
for
assistant,
that.
you're kind of already responsible a little bit for all that stuff, and it's also not as much. I mean, yeah, it's shifting. Probably will take some adjustments. It's not like you have one
It's
time out in the NFL and
Yeah.
you barely call it. So like,
It's not
and
as large of a
challenges.
shift. I understand what you're saying. Like it's not a
I
drastic.
just think
change.
it's easier to transition to being an interim NHL coach, and you have more opportunity to get a job.
All right. No, I would
Mhm.
definitely agree with that now after you two have enlightened me on that a little bit. So are we ready to roll
Going
into
trivia?
the trivia?
Might as
Mike.
well.
Hit it, buddy.
Yeah. So, we usually start with the Bills question here. So now you can probably see my phone. So back in 1978, the Bills had the most rushing yards in a single game for the team. Do you know how much rushing yards they had?
250.
No, because didn't OJ run for like 271 game? No, I'm gonna say they had 412.
366.
I was gonna say
49
48.
attempts. Had 5 rushing touchdowns that game against the Giants, 141-17.
Oh wow.
I would think you would win if you ran for 360
Yeah,
plus
I would
yards.
think that's a given stat. If they lost
Well,
with
you
that,
know
that's tough.
what?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I wasn't roasting you. It was just like making a point.
Yeah.
I mean, the Giants could
Second
have run for
question.
400 yards.
Sabres question here. Honestly, I don't know if I've already asked this one before. I
Oh,
might
man.
have.
We'll let you know. We've
I
gone
mean,
through a lot.
We probably still don't get it right, so you're all
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
No, this one's kind of easy. I was thinking like captains wise, Oposo has obviously been the captain this year. The first captain for the Sabres.
Oh, Floyd Smith.
Yeah, I feel like I asked that one before.
Yeah,
that was
you
a really
definitely.
easy
No,
one.
you definitely did.
I think you
I don't
did.
know.
You did.
Oh well, I mean,
No, you know what? You know
I
what?
can't
No,
keep
he
track.
asked the first coach for the Bills.
No, you know what? You look up the answer to this question because I don't know, and then we'll do this one. How many captains have there been in Sabres history? I don't know the
It was
answer.
Like, it was like 20 something.
I think there's like 29, isn't there? I got
something
I'll
20
search-
something. I don't know.
How many captains have there been?
I should probably know this because the 50th anniversary, like they just went over, like they had like captains night at one point. I'm pretty sure. And obviously
Well,
the
in like
Milwaukee-
07, 08, in like 08, 09, they had like a
They had,
different
like,
captain every
5.
month.
The
So
Buffalo Sabres announced the 20th captain is Kyle Okposo. So 20 captains in franchise history.
29, not really close, but that's okay.
whatever.
All right.
Okay. Last question. Obviously, we know the Bills are more than likely getting a new stadium. We've seen renderings for like Tennessee that they want to get a new stadium. Some stadiums in North America have been around forever. Do we know what's the oldest one?
Is it not Fenway? Because
No.
Fenway is 1912.
It's
not
all
Fenway.
inclusive, right? Or NFL?
No, it's anything.
Okay, no, because you said Fenway.
It's not Fenway.
No.
I have no idea. Dom, you got anything other than Fenway?
No, I'm trying to think because like Fenway is the oldest MLB ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
It's none of the 4 major sports.
Nah, see, that's what really threw this.
Yeah.
Is it? You know what? It's probably like some horse racing track or something. Is it really?
It's Churchill Downs,
Oh my gosh.
1875.
What? Now, is that the Belmont or is that like
Churchill Downs?
Peak? What's it?
That's
I don't remember what the Triple Crown races are.
Oh,
Sorry to
man.
those horse
Is that
racing fans
Kentucky
out there.
Derby?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
Kentucky
Kentucky
Derby.
Derby.
But Peakness? No, Peakness. Nah, I don't
The
remember.
Preakness.
Preakness. That was close enough.
Churchill Downs is Kentucky.
Yes.
Kentucky Derby.
The Kentucky Derby.
Okay. I got the.
But-
You know what? I'm gonna give myself credit. I think Fenway.
You said
was-
horse racing.
Listen. Fenway was a solid guess
Yeah,
out of the big 4, and then I got the sport that it was actually in. So like,
yeah, it was
Thank
good.
you.
Good work,
Thank
Kiko.
you.
Dom. Good work, Dom. But without further ado, that's going to end it for this edition of the Buffalonian podcast. Dom, without further ado, I know you're laughing. I called you Kiko again. How do you always end these, buddy?
go Bills, baby.
Go
Go
Bills.
Sabres.
Go Sabres tonight.